Tex here. Today I'm going to talk about something near and dear to my heart. It's my favorite singer in the whole world, which happens to also be my Korean idol, who also happens to be my hero, who also happens to be the most unique person I've ever seen. But she's not my queen. My wife is my queen, and no one's going to replace her. But as far as singers go, she's quite remarkable. And that singer would be Park Bom. If I was told when I was 16 years old that when I turned 63 that my favorite singer in the whole world was going to be an aging Korean pop star, I would have thought you were crazy. But here we are. And there's lots of reasons. I mean, I love her voice, and that's the reason why she's my favorite singer. Because for some reason, whenever she sings, I never get tired of hearing it. I've never seen anything like that. I've been listening to music my whole life, and my favorite kind of music is new music, but not when it comes to Park Bom. I can listen to her songs over and over and over, and I never swipe them. I never get tired of them. She's a really unique person. You know, she was shipped off. She was second daughter. She was shipped off. I don't really understand the meaning of that. To the other side of the planet to live in America and go to a boarding school. Well, when she was in that boarding school, she had said once that she would cry herself to sleep at night holding her own picture. And I guarantee you that about broke my heart, because I'm a father myself. Matter of fact, I have a daughter about the age of Park Bom.
And that kind of thing will really make a kid grow up fast. But luckily, she had an aunt that lived there in America and gave her support and supported her with her dreams. I love this rap sequence here by Sandra. You know, she has a real unique voice, and there was a noticeable drop-off to the other girl. What I understand, Park Bom started having ideas about being a pop star back in Korea in junior high. And she ended up staying in America until she went to college.
But once she did, she came back to Korea and wanted to pursue her career as a pop star. And everyone told her, I'm sure, that she was too old, but she was 24 years old. And at 24, you know, that's when everybody's ending their career in Korean pop, not starting their career. And she had a very strange voice. And, you know, I gotta really give it to YG. I mean, I don't think the most of YG. I don't really appreciate the way he treated Park Bom when her instance started. That's beside the point. I mean, if it wasn't for YG, we never would have had Park Bom, because she had that strange voice. She was kind of oddly beautiful. You know, she's a really beautiful girl, but I've never seen anybody in the world that looks like her. So she's uniquely beautiful.
This is El Chapo, notorious drug trafficker, who is luckily spending time in a Colorado prison right now. This is Park Bom skipping. I don't think this guy's ever skipped a day in his life.
Look at this girl right here. You know, it's hard to believe that she'd be a drug trafficker. And she really wasn't. And people got onto her, and it drove her completely out of the business that she loved so dearly. I mean, the haters came down on her, and, you know, I heard listen to one guy. He said, well, she was a grown-ass woman. She should have known better. You know, I just got to say this. What, grown-ass woman can't make mistakes? Nobody can make a mistake in this world? I mean, the reason why they let her off is because she had never done anything wrong ever before. And trust me, if you just look at her, you can tell that she'd never do anything like that.
The law forgave her, but her fans didn't, because someone else had gotten charged with something a lot like hers and they didn't get off. And also, YG turned on her, and that probably drove a stake into Park Bom's heart. As sensitive as Park Bom is, I'm sure she probably cried herself to sleep every night when the man who she revered the most had turned on her.
Park Bom turned her head. She said, I've got more things coming up with YG. And then YG says, oh, no, you know, we're cutting ties with Park Bom. I mean, man, that was cold. And then she went into like a hiatus where she didn't even stick her head out for years. Hardest thing about the entertainment business is sticking your head out there. You know, sticking it out there for somebody to cut it off. For her to do that, to start over, to stick herself back out there when she's 30, I think she's 36 years old when she did that. I mean, that was freaking amazing and so brave. I mean, because those haters could have been out there. They could have attacked her right off the bat, and some of them did. But I'll guarantee you that her fans, the people who loved her and cherish her voice and realize that she is totally unique and that she's a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon that's never going to happen again. I mean, well, they went off on those haters, and now I just wish that she would do more.
This is Park Bom wearing a tiara and looking pretty adorable for somebody that's 36 years old. This is El Chapo. I don't think he's ever wore a tiara, at least while he's not in public. This is Park Bom crying wearing a tiara in public. She's a very sensitive person. So the proof is in the pudding. I don't think there's any way possible that you could confuse this person with that person. In this video clip, over 4 million people viewed this video when someone showed her something that touched her heart. And when something touches Bom's heart, she cries. And I really feel that spontaneous emotion that she has translates into her voice. And for some reason, whenever she sings, it makes me cry. And I don't even know Korean. I can't explain it. When Zing and Bom sung Scarecrow on Queendom, I don't think there was a dry eye in the house. I know I made me very emotional, but it made other people emotional too. I wonder how many people Bom's voice affects that way. During this performance, Jimin of AOA made a comment, "Why is this so sad?" Well, I think most anybody listening to it knew that Bom was thinking that she was that scarecrow standing in the field all alone. And that made her sad, which made the song very sad. And that's the reason why I think everybody was crying. But it's definitely a special quality, wouldn't you say? Right here in Queendom, Park Bom started crying, but before she started crying, she was spreading the emotion. Solar is obviously feeling her pain. These 3 girls have different emotions. The one on the far right, she's got a look of admiration. The girl in the back, she goes through a range of emotions. She goes from being in an open position to closing her arms off as she thinks about the feelings she's having, and then she releases again and smiles because she realizes the feeling is good. And the other girl dabs her eyes and then looks at her fingers because she's amazed that she's crying. Here, the girl on the left finds it real funny, which isn't really that uncommon considering I'm sure that every girl that ever did anything in K-pop has always been taught that the one thing you never do is cry. Idols don't cry. Now the girl on the right, she was shaking her hands because she didn't know what emotion she was feeling, and right now the look on her face tells me that that's what she's trying to figure out, and when she does, she has a different reaction. The girl on the right is laughing because she feels like Bom just embarrassed herself. The girl on the left is looking at the girl on the right and wondering why she's laughing because she's struggling with her own emotions right now. The girl in the middle gets it, and she's about to cry, and she's probably now a Park Bom fan because you can tell by the look on her face. And I know I was crying like this girl right here when she sang this song. And this was another show that she did where the audience got teared up. This show right here, King of the Masked Singer, Bom was disguised, but her voice wasn't disguised. And this young lady right here got teared up and then embarrassed by getting teared up. And she was a little at odds with herself for getting teared up. But that's just what the camera caught. I wonder how many other people were teared up. And it wasn't even a sad song, really. Now, I don't know what's going through this guy's head. It looks like he's really liking it or really hating it, but it definitely doesn't look like anything in between. You know, the first time I heard Park Bom, I had the very same expression as these girls. But the more I listened to it, the more I liked it. It's funny how sometimes it works out that way. I heard a voice teacher once say that she sang out of key and missed notes. And I don't know, maybe she's just creating new notes? This is where she made the comment about the song being extremely sad. You know, I really don't understand how she didn't win this round, considering she's the only person in the show that made people cry. And that's one of the most tender emotions that a person can have. She was once asked, after trying so many times to get into the business, they asked her, "Were you ever afraid of failing?" And she said, "The only way you can fail is if you stop trying." That's pretty profound coming from someone who doesn't seem to be profound. Uniquely profound, that's the word. It also showed unique perseverance that you very rarely see in a human being these days. Now, because of her, young girls feel like they don't have to be 14 years old to start K-pop. They can be 24 years old like Park Bom. And there are artists out there that have done that. A matter of fact, 2 of them were in this show. Hasa of Mamamoo, Soyeon of G-Idol. Look how their expressions have changed. And I gotta say that Zing, she also brought the emotion in this performance. Zing can really sing. She really brings it right here. But when Park Bom's voice cracks, emotion just pours out.
우시는 것 같아. 어떡해. 어머.
혼자서 있는 하수 앞이
And look how tall she is. I mean, long-legged, I might say. That's the one thing about Park Bom. She's very unique. And you know, the covers, she's done some covers that have been really successful. I like this one here, but it really wasn't her most successful. Yeah, I just love the way she sings. Yeah, she could sing the Korean national anthem, and I'd listen to it over and over and over again. But it isn't just listening to her voice. I really like watching her sing, watching the words come out of her mouth. She doesn't really have to dance. She can just stand there or sit in a chair. That's fine with me. I just like watching her sing. And I hope she never stops. This video has over 14 million views, and it's a cover. Park Bom, when she covers a song with her unique voice, it kind of becomes her song. And if I were her, I would do a lot more of them. It seems like some of her covers have been some of her most successful outings. Get her own studio and do them on a regular basis. Yeah, when she was with 2NE1, and I thought 2NE1 was probably one of the best vocal groups I'd ever heard. As far as the whole group, everybody in the group being excellent singers. I had a real hard time figuring out why I loved 2NE1 so much. Flipping it, I watch them over and over and over again. And I couldn't figure that out. And then they broke up, and then I really didn't know. And I always thought the reason why I like 2NE1 so much was because of CL. Because she's so charismatic and she jumps out at you, and she's just so damn talented. But once Park Bom came back out in 2019, because I always wondered if it was Park Bom. I always thought Park Bom was, I liked her because she was so attractive. But I don't think that's the case. I did notice her unique voice though, and I realized that she was the reason why 2NE1 had such a unique sound, because of her voice, and she did do most of the singing. But when she came out in 2019 and did Spring, that's when I knew. I knew then that she was the reason why I couldn't ever get tired of listening to 2NE1 songs. It wasn't CL. Don't get me wrong, I love CL, and I love this whole group. I think they're amazing vocalists all by themselves. But for some reason, Bom's voice has I don't know, something like I've never had before when I listen to an artist. I mean, look at CL. She's just, this is a beautiful video right here. And CL, man, every shot could be freeze frame and it would be perfect. And Sandra, she's always willing to take the makeup off and put the frizzy hair on. And she always makes it look good doing it. And Minzy, and this is just adorable. She looks like she's a doll. But Bom is the one, in my opinion, that makes this go. Well, she sings most of the song. Right here, she's fixing to bring a little boom on it. I heard Bom say one time, if you're gonna sing sad songs, you have to think sad thoughts. I mean, Minzy has a beautiful voice. All these girls have really great voices. Sandra, I mean, her voice is very unique, like Bom's. I mean, not the same as Boom's, but very unique like her. And CL, beautiful singing voice. Yeah, I love this whole group. And I definitely love Boom better with these other girls, but you know, we can't have everything, can we? This is also from Queendom, and this is a song she put out, the last song of the show. And when I saw these microphones up here, these empty mics, I was hoping what was going to happen was 21 pop up out of the floor and behind those mics and save Boom. That would have been epic. Then we would see who's best. Yeah, Boom just used to having people to lean on. She's not used to being a solo artist. I've been listening to K-pop for about 8 years now, and I've seen it evolve like super fast. I mean, 8 years ago it was so much different than it is now. Even 10 years ago, it's really, I mean, 21 was, you know, I don't know, a evolutionary style band that made other groups better. Now I think K-pop has evolved, and it has artists like Park Bom that are inspirations to young people trying to get into the business. These four here are iconic in their genres. Willie Nelson with country, Mick Jagger with rock, Cher with pop, and Park Bom with K-pop. But they share more than that. They all have very unique personalities. They all are uniquely attractive. They all had hit songs in their 30s, and they all have very unique voices. Willie Nelson's voice, comforting, one of the most comforting voices I've ever heard. You listen to Willie Nelson and you just think everything's going to work out. Willie Nelson is 88 years old. He just finished a new book and new album. And he has like 100 albums to go along with that, and numerous books. He was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame in 1993. I don't see any stopping in sight for Willie. Mick Jagger, he's the king of the edge. He was an edgy singer, and it worked out for him. Because for 6 decades, the Rolling Stones have been rolling. Mick Jagger has a very unique voice, style, and of course, no one moves like Jagger. I went and saw Mick Jagger in 1978, thinking this might be the last chance I ever get to see the Rolling Stones. Boy, was I ever wrong. After 6 decades of reinventing themselves and managing to keep themselves in the limelight, the Rolling Stones were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1989, and they're still performing today. You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometime, well, you might just find that you're what you need. Yeah. Then we have Cher, one of the most talented people in my lifetime. She's won just about every award there possibly is. What's strange is unlike Willie Nelson being inducted in the Country and Western Hall of Fame, and Mick Jagger being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Cher has eluded being put into the Pop or Rock Hall of Fame. I went and saw her live about 15 years ago on her farewell tour. Then she mocked Ashley Simpson and Jessica Simpson, saying that she couldn't compete with them, and that's why she was quitting. but she never quit. And now Ashley Simpson and Jessica Simpson are gone, but Cher is still putting out videos like this one with 34 million views she put out in 2018 when she was 73 years old. And she's saving elephants right now and writing new songs. But, you know, her list goes way back. She had 2 hit television shows. I think she's been in like close to 60 different movies. She's been nominated for over 300 major awards and won over 146, I believe. She's the only person who ever lived that had a hit in 6 consecutive decades. That's pretty phenomenal. Oh, and let's not forget, at one time she had the #1 exercise video in the world. Pretty phenomenal individual. But you know, they once asked Cher, they said, Cher, what is the one thing that made you have such a long career? And she said, it's my voice. I don't have the best voice in the world, but I have a different one. So could Park Bom have a long career like these other icons? Well, the odds are against her, but she's been beating the odds her whole life.
I'm back. Well, you're probably wondering, oh, Tex, are you thinking that Park Bom is as good as these icons of the music industry? Am I trying to say that Park Bom's career is going to last 6 decades? Nah, that's not what I'm saying. That's totally up to Park Bom. I mean, if she wants it to happen, her voice is definitely unique enough to do it. And I think if she loves to sing, and she seems to sing, even if it means covers or whatever, just keep singing. And I want to say one thing. The reason why I feel like the Park Bom deserves to be in with these people here is because these other 3 icons that have been around for 60 years has never done something that Park Bom has done. And Park Bom has done it multiple times. And that's make me cry. And that means something to me. Keep singing, girlfriend. And until next time, happy trails. Wait, just back it up a minute. I got a question for you. Do you think that it's time for K-pop to have a Hall of Fame? And if there was one, who would your first 4 female inductees be? I'm going with these 4. I'm going with Park Bom, CL, Yuna, and Taeyeon. And for different reasons, but they've been around a while and no one's done more for K-pop than these girls right here. What do you think? Leave your comments below and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell and we'll talk again. Until next time, happy trails to you until we meet again.